Welcome back to the Podmen, the wrestling podcast we bring you each and every week on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Audio versions of the show are available through Spotify. And if you'd like to contact the show, we're on Twitter at @TPodmen, or you'll get us on Facebook, the Podmen. Joining me tonight, making his return to the Podmen. It's been a while, from the court, Carl King. Wow, how are we doing, Carl?
Oh, good, gentlemen. Good to see us again.
Brilliant, great to have you on. Also joining me, as always, on these wrestling shows, we're practically the Legion of Doom at this stage, me and this man. Ian Kelly, how are we, Ian?
We're maybe the Hart Foundation, even, you might say. But now I think we're more the Road Warriors at this point. I'm very well. This is probably the happiest you're going to see me tonight, yeah?
We'll see how it goes. Well, what we're doing is, it is Survivor Series season, as we say, and when these big four come around, we like to do a little few look back episodes where we look back at matches within the big four that kind of define the true history. So tonight we're going to take a look back, of course, at Survivor Series 97, Bret versus Shawn Michaels, known as the Montreal Screwjob. A tough watch, I'm sure, for most of us. Look, we'll get to it and we'll see how it goes. Man, any thoughts before we get into it?
Always a tough watch. Always a tough watch. Yeah. But look, I'm a professional. I'm so you are too. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's take it on the chin. Ian, what do you think?
I've been doing. You know what? It is what it is at this point.
This is nearly our dark side of the ring episode, really, isn't it? When you think about it.
Yeah. And then I was watching it and I was really upset.
I think what people should do if they're gonna watch it though, and taking away the screw job, just actually watch how good the match is. And I think that's what we can have some fun with this, because of what happened after, the fact people forget that like 5 years earlier they had an absolute phenomenal match at Survivor Series 1992, and then obviously they had the Iron Man match at WrestleMania, 96, WrestleMania 12, and then they had some like great matches on Coliseum Home Video, which were basically dark matches, ladder match and everything. So it's like this is probably the most different match they've had. So it shows how good these two workers were in terms of the match they built. And it wasn't just a straight up catch as catch can type of, hold for hold in the ring. This was like aggressive. And I think one thing to watch out for, I'll say, because I know this match like the back of my hand at this point, is watch how aggressive Bret is in the match. Obviously, it being in Canada. And then watch how snappy Michael's bumps are, on every punch. And then watch a real wrestling crowd, something we probably haven't seen really in a long time. So take all those components and put them together, and it's a good watch along.
Yeah.
In fairness, they were the perfect dance partners for each other, and in a perfect world when you think about it. Absolutely,
we were born to do it. Yeah, we were born to do it together.
It was weird today because I did another look back today with another guy, and we looked at Survivor Series 88. The match where they were partners. It was crazy, so it was surreal looking at that even.
Yeah.
Well, the good news that we can say at the end of the show is that they're partners again. They're good old pals again, which is nice to see.
That's true. Right, let's get into the match, so.
Let's do it. So give us a countdown.
So in 3, 2, 1.
Come on. It's loading up.
Look at that. Shawn coming out, chewing the chewing gum, looking like the proper asshole that he is at the time in terms of probably both inside and outside the ring, both in character and in personality.
I'd say he was up his own hole at that stage.
What you'd say?
Yeah.
He's rocking that European belt like he doesn't give a shit about it.
And that kind of weird looking gimp suit that he has on as well.
Yeah.
I never understood that crap, I have to say.
Well, he's a gimp, that's why.
Sparkly boy. Huh?
Look at that man behind them all watching Bret's back, he was just saying, like, they don't realize the danger that's literally standing behind them with that briefcase, do they? And it ain't China. That is Mr. Rick Rude.
A combination of the two even would be scary enough, wouldn't it?
Oh, no. Rick Rude alone is one of the most dangerous men ever. When you hear Haku putting you over as a tough guy, there's something. Look, by the way, lads, watch out for the milk that gets thrown over Shawn Michaels' face here momentarily. But watch how Shawn just literally laps it up and is not afraid of the heat. Like, he knows shit's coming his way. The camera's on him, so he doesn't care.
Top of his game.
But he's still afraid a little bit because you can see him looking back. He's like, shit, what's coming my way?
He thought someone would probably jump at the barrier.
Yeah, he's turned around here just to make sure. But look, he grabs that flag. See the milk?
Yeah.
Takes it off. Takes it off like a true heel. Look how close the fans used to get to.
Isn't that mad how close they are?
Yeah, they used to get so close, didn't they?
Yeah, and the intensity of the atmosphere around this match as well there, and yet they're on top of them, they could reach out and just grab them,
I hope everyone is watching this live and just put the volume up for a moment there while you're there, just to see how incredible this is. And here comes Michaels now with the disrespect of the flag. Imagine someone doing that to the American flag.
Yeah, there'd be more there, wouldn't it?
In America. Oh, it'd be cancel culture. Well, if it happened in 2021, you couldn't do this in 2021.
No. This would never reach. This would never reach the screens of Peacock.
No, and there he goes with his little pumping, and yeah, I mean that HBK.
There's a guy holding a HBK poster, and he's even giving them the finger over what he's doing.
I mean, that's crazy that it's actually still written, isn't it? Look at Michaels messing with the ring announcer with the flag.
He was the biggest wind-up merchant, wasn't he?
Generation X American Hero. Man, how good were the Hart Foundation in getting? Here comes Jesus Christ, the shoulders on Bret at that point.
He's a specimen, isn't he?
Forget
about the shoulders. Look at the chap walking behind him, talking about shoulders.
I know. Look at the two chaps walking behind him. Jesus good Lord.
Oh, yeah. I loved the Hart Foundation. I really, really did love that. That was great.
That was Bret walking out there going, I've had about enough of this disrespecting of the flag. Get me in there quick. Have you ever seen look at the shape of the anvil even? My God.
But can I just say, have you ever seen a man, you see the way the leather jacket's on Bret there, and he was considered the smaller wrestler? The fucking size of that.
He's a big lad.
Imagine those three lads coming for you legit. Like. There's a little Blade at the sun there holding the flag. It's twice the size of
It's off his bed. That's what that's off.
Now, if you ever want to hear a pop,
the ovation was.
If you're watching at home and you're watching along, just actually turn up the volume just for yourself, just to hear the pop here. It's, I mean, have you ever seen a more just a more determined look? Look at that. Like that looks like he's ready for a UFC fight, right? You know what I mean? This is just.
There's something
incredible.
There's magical times.
There's something really cool as well about those small entrance-ways still, isn't there?
Yeah,
it's just like so cool.
Intimate. Yeah. It's kind of like, when you have you go and see a band in an arena, there's always something a little bit better and more intimate about it versus seeing them in, the open, in the stadium, because the sound, the atmosphere. And look at Jesus Christ, that is just incredible. You're looking at the greatest WWE champion of all time right there.
All time.
Champions champion.
Yes.
Shawn Michaels is powdered out to the ring, playing the scared. Well, he probably legit was scared.
It's mad when you look at the scene around the ring with the fans, isn't it? It's nearly ECW-like, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that was the 90s had a certain culture, didn't it? That had elements of the 70s and the 80s of the stories that we hear about. but in such a larger scale, right?
But there's literally not a fan there that doesn't have a poster. Like, it's crazy. Like,
No.
the intensity of it.
Or a flag or something.
I have to say, I'm a huge mark for those foam hands. I love those foam hands. They're so cool. I just think they're awesome.
Look at that kid. That kid is probably a hockey player for the Montreal Canadiens now. He's probably still has them.
That kid bought a gaff out of those glasses.
He looks the type, all right, doesn't he? Yeah.
Isn't it mad when you look at like the belt around Bret's waist there? Like, you know, you see that belt around some lads and like they can't, like it looks huge. It's just like that's a Saturday night costume belt, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I always prefer them wearing it around their waist, I have to say.
Look at Michael's face there. Look at Michael's. That's brilliant. The little scowl of looking around at the fans. But like the thing, you have to give Michael's credit. He played that camera so well, didn't he? Like brilliant heel work. Like look at him.
He was top of his game. He was at that stage.
Your man with the hat just wants to kill him.
And the thing is, he probably could, but Michael's smart enough not to get close.
Jesus, it's mad. I wonder internally what was Michael's thinking at this stage.
When you look at Bret standing there, by the way, you can see what people mean about how he had that kind of character that was just cool, right? He stands there just with the hand into the belt, and it's like, I'm waiting for this guy. You know what I mean? To answer your question, what he's thinking internally, I'd say there was fear, legit. Like, you know what I mean? I'd say he was one of those people that could act on impulse. Do you know what I mean? But I'd say there was genuine fear because he doesn't know what's going to happen, whether Bret is actually legit going to beat the piss out of him, or you know, Anvil or Davies. Oh, look at the bumps here. Look at the bumps. But that's the thing. That's respect from Michaels for Bret as well with those bumps. You know what I mean? You don't throw your body around just for everybody. You know, it's he could sometimes oversell too with the messing around. You could kind of see where CM Punk came up with that recently, didn't you? That it doesn't always hold up in terms of he can oversell a little bit. But I mean, that's not taken away from just how good he was. But he could oversell, I think.
It was kind of his thing,
really.
Bret
was able to, yeah.
Well, it was, 100%. It was kind of, it was like Mr. Perfect, but like on drugs, and that's saying something.
But the great thing about Bret, he could roll with the punches to show them how and control it enough to make it kind of look a bit more believable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, lads, how would you rate? I've always been a big fan of Bret's punches. What do you reckon? I always thought they looked really snug and legit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Almost like Adrian Adonis was another guy who had great punches.
Yeah.
Great delivery, yeah.
It's a kind of movement of the body as you come into the punch, isn't it? Really is
putting the whole body into it, so it looks legit, exactly. But the hand is like this. You know what I mean? He's catching them with the palm. Look at these fans; they just definitely want to.
You wouldn't see that now.
No. Not a chance.
I wonder did someone get a cheeky hair pull or like a pinch of a bit of. You wouldn't find much body fat on Michael's, but did someone try a little sneaky pinch or something? You know what I mean?
Jock him.
Yeah, jock him. Look, in fairness to Bret, there he's been a good. He's been smart there. You know, he's actually taken Michael's out of that equation there. Yeah. Because obviously, as a professional, he knows that it's probably getting a little bit too rough and ready in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Getting a bit intense.
And obviously, well, he doesn't want Michaels to die right there at that point.
He probably regretted it later. He probably said, I should have left him out there.
Should have left him to the Sharks, yeah.
Let's look at this a different way. I wonder what was going through McMahon's mind when this was all going on.
Look, when you look in hindsight, lads, look at the way Slaughter's there and Briscoe and McMahon.
Yeah.
The whole time following the match. That tells you there's a red flag, right? When you look at it back.
You look at it now,
You know, that it's something kicked off.
Yeah, he had plenty of cover.
Yeah. I still don't think that cover would have done much with the backing that Bret had in the locker room, to be fair. Briscoe might have been up showing Michaels a few holes, but I don't think that would have done much for him, to be fair. Patterson probably just doesn't know what's going on. He's been told to be out there because, I mean, as far as I'm aware, Patterson legit knew nothing about it. And that makes sense, doesn't it, Niall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at all the referees.
Yeah.
When the referees were actually good characters as well, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah.
This is actually a great fucking match because this looks like a proper brawl. Like, we're not seeing any of this AEW or indie stuff where you see them throwing those little pansy, flailing hands. Look at that. Boom! Straight onto the small of the back. Michaels had no bother throwing his body onto the concrete. They're not even good gym mats, Niall. Like, they're not even good gym mats. There's a little bit of foam in it.
Yeah, they're the easy.
Like, you see how flimsy they are.
Yeah. They're the old school gym mats we had in the 80s. The little thin ones.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
We had better gym mats in 2002, even. Like, we were broke.
Smacking Michaels now back up the walkway.
This gets good. I know he goes for a pole driver, doesn't he? And here goes Michaels again.
Backdrop. The point you made at the start, Ian, is very valid, though. If you go in to just watch the match and you kind of like park the fact as to whether you're a Bret or a Shawn fan.
No, this is phenomenal.
There's so much more to it, isn't there?
It's phenomenal. Yeah. And it's amazing when you hear the lovely little suplex on it. Look, boom.
Oh.
But isn't it nice, Niall? You can see how Bret evolved with the business as well. Look at Michaels talking to him there. Brilliant. Kayfabe talking, just letting him know what's going on. Isn't it nice that Michaels punching Patterson?
Jesus.
Oh, beautiful. Whoa, what the fuck? What you do that for? Whoa, come on.
Shawn was probably dying to do that.
Shawn Michael, what you do to me? There we go. What's going on? Look at Briscoe standing there.
Ref
to pour out there.
Tim White, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, Tim White soon to make an appearance on Dynamo doesn't, by the way.
Nice.
Exclusive here. I think Bret hit someone a good shot. Oh, do you know what it was? There was some snap with Bret's movement when he threw something in, wasn't it? It looks like that looked like he just fucked him over, like you know what I mean? Yeah. And I suppose Michael probably had no choice but to go with it. But
that's why he was so good, though, lads. You know, just the way he delivered things. Really.
Well, the two of these guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, we talk, Niall, about people talking about one of the greatest matches ever in WrestleMania history with Austin and Bret. Isn't it amazing how he was able to evolve from that technical wrestler, but he could have those brawls?
To brawl, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, you look at this, if the aftermath of this match wasn't what it was, you would be saying that this is one of the best brawls and probably be up there with WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I meant by the start of the match. Look at Vince. Bret gives him a little finger here soon, I believe. Oh, look at that. Michael's selling it properly, and there's a look that probably he gets later. Little did Vince know, about an hour later, he would literally have a dislocated jaw and a broken ankle.
The power of the punch.
Well, when you look at that point, the way Vince likes to consider himself a hard man.
Yeah.
Bret was the bigger man there, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's mad looking at the crowd as well, isn't it? There's not an empty seat in the place.
Yeah.
No. Like the whole rafters even there.
Yeah, if you look up, you're going right up. The place is packed.
Right to the tippy top, man. That was. And then you would, like, how would you be willing to let someone like Bret go? Do you know what I mean?
I know.
I mean, that's your draw. That's what drew this money in this match.
I always say it though, and I've said it to you before. It's crazy that WCW had him and they did nothing with him, really. Especially after this.
Do you know what the worst part about it is, Carl? I look at this, right, and I heard Bret and Michaels both say that they could have had so many more of these matches. Like this feud was only starting to build and get hot. Like, this could have been a whole rivalry. This could have went into Royal Rumble where one of them wins, you know. one of them wins the Rumble and we go into Mania and we get that main event again. I mean, good Lord. I love those snappy leg drops, lads.
Yeah, they're deadly.
It's mad, yeah. And because there's no huge telegraphed elevation, it's just a snap leg drop, like, you know, it's like
that was one I used to steal. It was always my favorite. I didn't like that big, you know, it looks good when you get someone like Hogan do it because he's 6'7" or whatever.
Yeah.
You get a shorter guy and it's just that little drop onto the ass and it looks like you've literally just got.
But those short ones, it's like those standing drop kicks that are narrow in close.
Yes.
They look like the kind of thing you would do in a pub fight or a brawl or something like that, as opposed to the dramatics of the big air kind of thing, you know?
You know, Bret was obviously in the ring with the looks. Do you remember the looks of Dynamite and all used to do that? You just do those snappy knee drops.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, just looking at there, how have you ever seen anyone faster run the ropes than Shawn Michaels?
No.
Jesus Christ! I think back to WrestleMania 11 when he wrestled Diesel, and you see how fast he was running those ropes. It was actually something that Mallory pointed out to me one day watching it, and I was like, "Oh, good Lord, I see what you mean there." But even there, he was doing it with Bret, with the blood on Bret's knuckles. Jesus, his hands were massive, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Face on Michaels.
Such a good heel. Such a good heel. I love that little fist drop as well that Michaels used to throw in.
Look at your man in the white, and the guy in the blue. They just want to kill him. Look at your man in the dungarees. Wants to kill him.
And to be fair, and look at your man, that's a guy like trying to hold him back. Look.
Yeah.
And they look like they'd probably cause some damage to you.
It's great when they could have licked that kind of emotion, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is when pro wrestling was red.
Pro wrestling when it was pro wrestling, yeah.
Your man in the Mankind t-shirt doing the minimal crotch chop, like the minimal effort. It's just
look at your man in the white t-shirt. You're saying that. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's tapping Bret on the head there. Look, and Michael's just smiling at him. Look. Oh, Michaels is giving him shit back. In fairness, well, he's not doing too much. Oh, he spat at him. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that? Michaels actually spat at him.
Yeah.
That is proper heel work, isn't it? To be fair, if a pro wrestler spat at you, you probably would smack him in the mouth. Well,
you'd want to anyway at that stage.
Michaels
he was probably hoping one of them would.
And take him out and have the match ended. Like, sorry, Vince, I did my part.
The lads at the barrier there, they look like they're nearly getting crushed. It's mad, isn't it?
That's a beautiful move, actually. This is actually such a good match.
Yeah.
Jeez, here we go again now with the Canadian.
But like you say, when you're looking at it from...
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez, he's trying to stab him.
Rookie mistake there. You using the broken end, huh?
How good was Bret? How good was Bret selling though on a practical level? When he sold and made it look like it legit hurt, didn't he? Like holding the neck there, gasping for air. Look.
Well, he always made people look great, you know.
Well, he just made things look believable. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, very believable. Like just like they're like holding his nose there. It's like, fuck, you got me.
But you need that, don't you, to get us fully invested and immersed in the match. That's what you need. Like, you know, that's what we don't have at times.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic.
Yeah. Two incredible athletes.
Very, very little of it nowadays. Yeah.
Michaels with a very weak double axe handle there and got a Bret on the shoulder, and you had to go down selling it. You got the distance.
The way he took him down there, see that?
Yeah, it was kind of nice. It was.
It was.
I mean, I do personally
and rough.
I think when I look at Bret's career, I do look at two guys there, and I think that there's two dance partners there that were just born to wrestle the Hitman, weren't they? And that was Austin and Michaels.
Perfect. The perfect dance partners. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, we had those great matches with Mr. Perfect and stuff, and even with Ric Flair and all later. Like, but I mean, those two in particular.
the matches with these two lads, and we're on a different level, like,
Yeah, this is just phenomenal. I'm enjoying this as well. I hope all the Podmen listeners are enjoying this, because they're probably expecting Dynamo to come on and be very hateful here, but like I'm just looking at this match for what it is.
You set the scene correctly, and you see, so in fairness, so I think that's where you were able to enjoy it.
What do they say? Time is a great healer.
Absolutely.
Well, if Bret can forgive,
if the two boys can make up.
Yeah, well, who am I to stop? Sure, like I have a lovely picture with me, and then this is with Shawn Michaels. And
before he super kicked you.
Man, I'd have boxed the head off and would just stop. I'd have been that guy in the front row.
Yeah.
I'd do nothing. No, I'm only kidding.
Those kicks from Bret as well are the equivalent of his punches as well, aren't they? They're just excellent. Like
everything is just snappy. All the boys that came out of that stampede, like everything was just snappy. Do you know what I mean? It was
real crisp.
Oh, like they didn't do anything that didn't make sense. No. You know what I mean?
No
energy was wasted.
Exactly. Like even when you look at a move, say like side Russian leg sweep, which we'll probably see later on, some people go, "Oh, that doesn't really make sense, a side Russian leg sweep." But look, Bret's trying to get the win. He knows that let's get the win here. Let's get a pin involved. But side Russian leg sweep, for example, when you look at someone like Bret do it, it was that snap into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, he probably could take you down. Like, look at those kicks to the knee. But Michael's selling it though. Look how Michael's selling it. Struggling. If only Bill Goldberg knew how to do this, maybe Bret would fucking still be wrestling as well. Well, it would have been for
a couple more years anyway.
Watch this. With Shawn. Look, see the way Shawn grabs the leg?
Yeah.
That stops Bret from breaking from basically his whole head smacking. And then Goldberg decided to just let him drop. Look at Shawn selling, man. Look. Oh man, he really is one of a kind. He really is one of a kind as well, Michael, isn't he?
He is. He is.
You know, as I said, these two boys were just made for each other, like in terms of in-ring work. Jeez, how easy he just pulled him across the ring.
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
It's just like a ragdoll.
That one, lift up the leg and give him a punch to the inner knee, like.
Oh, and it looks like it will hurt.
Yeah, but how'd you even come up with that, like?
But that's different level of thinking, isn't it? Because like if you did actually have someone just throw a dig into the inside of your knee, that would fucking hurt.
Absolutely.
I certainly don't want to try it. Maybe I'll try it on someone, but I don't want to be the recipient. Look how worn those boots are, Bret. Look, that's like the old veterans, Niall. You can see up close there, Bret's boots. Like they've seen better days, but like that's his boots. Look at Shawn selling here. I always remember this. I think his selling is fucking phenomenal. Look at his face.
Well, he wanted to make it a good show as well, I'd say. It's not a case that he just turned up, you know.
Well, I think out of respect for Bret, like he'd always, you know, he was always going to give him a good match, but also probably out of listen, if Michaels is in there selling for Bret, like, you know, you're going to give the whole game away, and he's probably going to end up pretty hurt in the match.
Yeah, I think when you're in there with Bret as well, you're not going to get away with that less than 100% anyway, are you?
But that's what I'm saying. You're going to end up hurt. He's going to know something's up, you know, because he was already suspicious anyway, wasn't he? Because the wife was suspicious. So, of course, he's going to be like, well, you're really going to do that to me, huh? There probably would have been a few snug headbutts in there. Just a little inside thing. That's one of the most painful situations to be in when someone does reverse the figure four, believe it or not. Because sometimes lads do step up and sit up on it, and you're like, fuck, man. Come on. Because your knee is bent back up this way. So, like, it's the whole calf and the inner thigh, and you're like, the blood circulation just goes. So it's actually a It's a legitimate reversal. I'm sure everyone's tried it at home, but not a nice predicament. Here's the flip.
Yeah. Here's that
Michael's
sweep.
His knee over those fucking. There we go. See what I mean? Side Russian leg sweep makes sense because it looks legit.
It's just the timing, isn't it? It's the way he snaps them.
Yeah.
Just two master craftsmen, weren't they?
Mm.
Oh, even the way you did that, yeah.
Yeah. I find it crazy that these guys were considered small for the business, like especially Bret, because you can see how thick he is. Like
he was bigger than Shawn, wasn't he?
Ah, Jesus, much bigger. Like in terms, just look at the width of him. Like.
Mm-hmm.
The legs tell the story. Do you know what I mean? Shawn was just always a great nick. I mean, he was a big guy, but I mean, he was super. You never go to the top.
Oh,
there we go. This is the lamb being led to the slaughter.
Yeah, starts now.
Look at Michael's being the little weasel looking around to make sure that he has his backup out there. Look at him. You can see it. Like, and I know from being in a ring, you know exactly what you're looking for. Not that I've been in that kind of predicament, but you know what I mean? You just know what to look for. He's looking around.
How uncomfortable Niall Hebner is.
Shit. Oh, look at him.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at Bret about to reverse it. Look at Shawn. Look at Bret holding his ankle. Look at Shawn, like, come on, Vince, come on.
Did you see Hebner flying out of the ring as well?
Shawn,
look how quick Shawn.
I'd say Shawn was worried about the head of his ankle, yeah. Jesus.
That's bit. Did you see Shawn acting it there saying, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Look at Shawn and look at that little nasty piece of shit with Shawn there as well. What's he going to do?
He made sure he ran over straight away and grabbed the belt. He made sure.
look at H there, the biggest weasel of the lot.
Yeah. The way your man pushes him there.
Yeah.
Look at Jack Briscoe will protect you.
Jerry Briscoe.
Well, Jack would protect you.
Yeah, not Jerry, though.
Both of them. Those two were two legit badasses.
Absolutely. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, there's your...
Flew boy, didn't it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't get to see the backstage shenanigans, but we all know history and we all know what ensues. We all know that Undertaker basically goes and gets Vince, who's locked himself in his office.
It's unbelievable, as you said in the beginning, isn't it? Like, it was a heck of a match till that moment.
Amazing match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like, if that finish had been the way it was, and Bret gets the reversal on, and then the two teams come down, and good Lord, like, I mean, that's an amazing end to a match. And, like,
they could have ended it properly. There was a way to end that.
That was a perfect. I mean, like, the blame really does lie at Vince's feet there, doesn't it? Because when you think about it, like, if they did have that schmoz or whatever, and they know Bret's gone because he's still there for another 30 days, or I think it was even 2 months, wasn't it? He had 2 months left on his contract.
Yeah.
Like, you have so many ways to get the belt back. It was just like that was an ego of Vince who didn't want to be told no by someone, I think.
Yeah.
And I think he had bowed down so much to the clique at this point, hadn't he? And just allowed them to do what they want.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think anyone in history will ever get away with the stuff that Shawn Michaels was able to get away with.
No.
No.
And, you know, for someone like H then to be the little snake that he was at that point, well, if he doesn't want to do business, fuck him. And then I was saying to the wife, I swear to God, I have nothing to do with it.
I was only watching that the other day, actually, that clip.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing about Triple H is, like, lays there uncomfortably in life these days. A snake is always a snake. A rat bastard is always a rat bastard. You know what I mean? As much as we give him credit for what he's done, he obviously has that in him. I'm of that opinion. Once you're a rat bastard, you're always a rat bastard.
I don't know. I think people over. No, I think people over time can change. There's no doubt about it.
I think so too.
That's a certain period in time.
Ask some of the NXT releases over the last 2 years, because they seem to have a similar opinion that they've been promised certain things. You know what I mean? I'll tell you.
Yeah, but is that being driven? Yeah, I just don't know whether that's being driven by H or is it being driven by our friend higher up, and H is just acting as a shield.
But instead of having her love him with H because he's the game man, he does all this kind of stuff.
No, but I'm talking about now. I'm not talking about then.
No, but history tells us the story that this man has done this over time. Because don't forget, when he got his moment in the sun, that was what he was known for. So all I'm saying to you is, what we see on TV isn't always. It's like
as well as that the way, and there's two sides to every story,
But there's no side to that story.
Well, not back in then, not then, no way.
Well, this is very much two sides to a story, really, isn't it? One of which we agree with, and one of which we're horrified about. I remember that moment in Wrestling with Shadows when he was in the corridor. I remember with Bret's wife. And she's up in his face going, "You knew, Hunter, you knew." And he's like this.
Like a big bald boy. Yeah, old child.
An animal is beside him as well. And you knew too, Joe. You knew.
Yeah.
And he's like...
So the only thing I'll say with Animal, I don't believe he did, because he was always very much, he grew up with the Hart Foundation and all that. I don't believe he did.
I'd say very few people knew about that on the day. That was
honestly do.
That was a tight circle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very, very small.
It was H, the Briscoes, Michaels, and Jim Ross didn't even know it. They didn't even clue him in.
Yeah.
Pat Patterson, obviously they wouldn't tell Pat Patterson because of the Canadian.
Yeah, he would have.
Him and Bret and all were obviously so tight that wouldn't have been allowed. So it's like, well, yeah, I mean, when you look at it, and I suppose history tells us a crazy story, didn't we? We look at Shawn. Went on to really have a nasty couple of years after that. Some people say that that's karma, which, I always lended myself to have that opinion as well, because I do think karma's real.
Absolutely.
And I don't take any pleasure in that. I haven't seen anyone get hurt or that, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I do think karma's real. I think, look, I've yet to see H get his karma, but I don't know. Maybe he's right. Maybe he has changed, but I don't believe so. I think
the way things are going from now, he's no power in that company now. He's no pull. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the only thing I'll say about H is I like what he's doing with it, with what he's trying to do with the business these days. You know what I mean? I like he's always got me respect at what he's achieved in the ring, and I think that old school mentality of what he's done is. But let's be fair, he's stepped on a lot of people to get to where he is today. Eventually marrying the boss's daughter will definitely lend itself. I'm sure if Stone Cold and some of those kind of old school guys as well had a married Steph, we'd probably see something similar. So
exactly, it doesn't. If anyone married Stephanie McMahon, they would have been doing the same, but maybe not to the extent that H did. But it still would have got that. Everyone would have been like, "Oh yeah, he married the boss's daughter." Like, no matter who did.
I suppose I have to pull myself back here a little bit. But at the end of the day, I watched that match with smiles, and I'm like, I'm getting heated now, and I'm like, I know I hate Triple H, but like, God damn it, why did you do it, Hunter?
Yeah.
Imagine how I feel, and I love Triple H. You know that.
Well, you know what the moniker is. It's then, now, and forever. So that sums it up perfectly, doesn't it?
Very true.
How's he doing these days, actually?
He's back now. He's back. He was backstage at Raw the last 2 weeks.
Good.
But it's kind of like everything that he worked so hard for in the last 5 years has unraveled, hasn't it?
Just gone down the drain.
Yeah.
And maybe Carl's right. Maybe that is kind of his bit of karma or something or whatever. Yeah. It's like, shit, now I have to fight the Office the way they did. Maybe he looked back at his time and go, fuck, I suppose I had to put up with Vince more than anyone. So maybe his karma was Vince marrying into the family and having to listen to it all the time. I'm sure there's times where he's like, but that old man just fucking die already. Come on.
He'll never quit. That's the gas thing.
Yeah. No.
That cunt's gonna live till 50, haven't you?
It's a scary prospect, isn't it?
Well, it's after ruining that company now, I feel.
Breaking news. It's going to happen. This whole thing, we've all heard on Monday Night Raw recently as well, that, you know, we had people power running the show.
Yeah, right.
People power. But you can only surround yourself with so much of these idiots. And obviously, Vince has had such an ego that he'll always go back to the yes men and just lick his arsehole and tell him how great his biceps look, you know? And it's all well and good for Bruce Pritchard on his podcast to be like, oh, Vince, your biceps look really good today. Oh, I'm like, you're the same little rat that he is. You know what I mean? Just in a different way. Like, you need people like Bischoff and Jim Cornette to actually tell it like it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Richard is probably one of the biggest liars in the history of wrestling. The lad doesn't know how to tell the truth. I think his life depended on it. So, and look what kind of show he's run. They're shite because, and that's nothing to do with his skills. He's obviously got skills, but they're there just to appease the old man. And unfortunately, the old man, when he didn't have that creative beside him, and I think the biggest piece was always Pat Patterson, without a shadow of a doubt. And when he didn't have that little group around him, like Cornette, Patterson, and Pritchard, when he was allowed to actually help him, it just shows. Look again, once again. You know, I say it every week. I'm going to bring it back again to home. Balor is once again just mid card, just nobody.
What purpose is he even serving there now? That's the thing.
We don't know. Like, a top rope killed his fucking momentum. You know what I mean? And that's it. So it's like
the act of God.
Yeah, I mean, the act of Vince. Yeah, I mean, I personally do believe that he will sell up. I don't think he's actually willing to leave it to anybody. I don't think he loves anyone enough to leave the company that he loves more, probably than his own family.
Yeah.
To anybody. I don't know whether you guys agree with that or not. I think he loves WWE and what he's built more.
I think he does.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is fair enough. Yeah. Which is fair enough. You know what I mean? This DPN gets off the ground, there might be some fucking...
You're fired.
You imagine. Well, listen, gents, an absolute pleasure having a Survivor Series look back with us.
Yeah, it really was.
I picked this one purposely because I knew it pulls on the heartstrings a little bit, but a phenomenal match.
Yeah.
Intended, right?
Absolutely. But this has been your 4 Podmen look back at Survivor Series 97. Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, the Montreal Screwjob. As always, leave your comments in the episode. You can contact us on Twitter at @TPodmen. Head over to the network, Dynamo Podcast Network on YouTube. Check out all the fabulous shows over there from Carl on the Slab, Kingwo's Court, all that good stuff over there, Irish metal music. Ian, of course, is on every second show on there. He's involved in On the Slab, Dynamo's Dozen, The Flaming Puck, The Chelsea Roar, to name but a few. Check out Ted's good stuff over there as well. Retrotainment Recast. As always, we have football with the upper tier. Get over there, support Irish podcasting, and we will be back with you again real soon. Cheers, man.
Best network on the planet.
Absolutely.